To the Good Neighbor podcast. Today we have two good neighbors on the show, Paul and Melanie Lopes of Brad's Place Addiction Treatment of Southern Georgian Bay. Paul, Melanie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So we met at the BA5 and Krista?
Yes.
Was it Krista from LCDC, if I got that right?
Correct.
She introduced us. She knows that I come, part of my life is the world of addiction counseling as a peer counselor over at Cornerstone Recovery. And her and I have had a number of conversations, really deep. She's a wonderful human being, and having deep philosophical conversations with her is quite easy. And so she introduced us because she thought we would align certainly on the addiction front. And we had a great conversation. I went there to mix and mingle with everybody. And I spent, 2 hours with you, just shooting the shit about what I've been through, your experience, how you're helping, how I'm helping. And it's a pretty fascinating world to be involved in. I knew nothing about it until I knew something about it. And that's when I got ultimately hooked to it. And now it's become a passion project. But let's talk about Brad's Place. Paul, Melanie, what do you guys do?
You want to go for it?
Yeah, so we offer outpatient addiction counseling to youth and young adults. We also assist caregivers, parents, siblings that are struggling or dealing with somebody or a loved one in their family that is suffering from substance abuse.
Okay. And what made you guys get into this? First off, let's backpedal a little bit. This is a hard road. I've learned that.
Yeah.
Any type of therapy, counseling, you're really getting into the messiness of a human being, and there seem to be no exact right answers. It's all individualized to that person. Every case is a different case. Every person is struggling from similar problems, but different in their own way. It's such a hard path. Everybody I've met in the addiction world, which is now many, agree that it's a very hard path. So what made you guys go down this road?
Well, 16 years ago, my stepbrother, Brad, passed away from his substance usage. And seeing the devastation in my family, especially with my mom, who was the one that found him, that's when we decided that something needed to change in the area to provide support for those that want to better themselves.
Mainly for his age group.
And how old was he?
He was 26.
So when you say his age group, what range do you mean?
The youth and young adults, because he was trying for approximately a year to 2 years before then to get help. He was seeking assistance from his doctors, who referred him to local 12-step programs, which he just didn't connect with them because of that age gap of those that were attending the programs.
What was it he said? He said, how can I sit there and talk to a bunch of guys that look and act like my dad, and he's the one who triggers me to drink?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Can I ask what substances?
Everything.
He did it all, pills. He did a lot of it was alcohol also, but he smoked, he drank, he did pills, he did it all.
Yeah, his autopsy report, of course, they never say overdose or self-inflicted or anything like that. So his autopsy report stated death due to enlarged heart from alcoholism. But he also had opioids, cannabis, and a whole bunch of other substances in his system at the time.
First off, my condolences. That's tough. I've had a couple of those losses in my life as well, and they suck. They're tragic, super tragic. Still, a lot of us have had that and still not gone down the road. I'm trying to dig a little deeper here to why you guys decided. Some people just have that in their life. They lost a family member or they saw addiction in it, and they just donate. Like, they show up to an event or things like that. Like, that's their way. You guys decided to put your hat in the ring to change the system. That's a big, huge endeavor. What made you decide to go all in? Like, was it just the impact? You loved your brother that much? It was that devastating of an impact that you wanted to match that devastation with just unbelievable will and brute force into changing the system? Or were you passionate about the system in some way earlier?
Well, I mean, that was his death was the catalyst, but the ultimate decision was seeing our children. We had 4 children between the ages of 3 and 10 at the time, and just picturing them growing up in a world where there is no help, and them having to bury their friends or, God forbid, get into that situation themselves.
Like Mel said, there was a catalyst, but one of the things that really drove us is, whenever we went to family functions, he'd always be either drunk or stoned around the kids. And we'd always tell him about that. And the one time Melanie said, how about you come visit without doing anything? And he did. And they had like the longest talk. And after that talk, he finally broke down and said, you know what? I want to get help. I want to, you've convinced me. And, Mel offered to help find whatever resources she can. And he goes, well, we're going to do this. And he goes, I'm going to have the one last hurrah. And it was his last hurrah. It was St. Paddy's Day. And that's what motivated us to get things going. Because like she said, we looked at our kids and going, what if they're in this situation? Like, they have nobody, they have no resources. Like, for people that young, like, everything's concentrated on adults.
How long was he using for?
Oh, quite a number of years. Let's just say that.
At least 12.
From at 26. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about what you guys do for people now. Let's really paint a picture. So somebody's struggling with addiction. How do you guys help? What does that look like? Do they come to you? Do you go to them? Is it talk therapy? Is there a cost? Let's break it all down for them, because there will be people struggling that hear this, or there will be business owners and parents that have somebody in their family struggling. And coming from the world that I came from, Cornerstone Recovery is a nonprofit. So you don't really have to pay to go there. But of course, we have like 12 beds. So, we have 1,000 people that need to be served, and we can do 12 at a time for 90 days. So the lineups are unbelievable. Or you go to a private facility and you pay $1,000 a day, sometimes $2,000 a day. It's like all the way up to 60 grand near me a month. So that almost filters out 90% of people. Even parents willing to remortgage their house, there's only a handful of those that can even afford that. So let's really break it down and make it super easy to understand for the person that's struggling, that needs help now. How do you help them? What does that look like?
Well, they give us a call at 705-712-3699. They book an intake assessment. They would meet with a counselor, and our intake workers answer some questions. Our intake workers then take all that information and create an individualized treatment plan. So everybody's treatment plan is personal, describing how often we meet, what modalities of therapy we use, right down to where we're going to meet. Once that treatment plan is created, we then meet again with the person, so they have a say. They can go through it and tell us what goals they like, what they actually want to work on, how often they want to meet, they have a big say in what treatment plan comes forth. Once that is created, that's when the sessions would start after that. So we do unfortunately have a fee for service, although we are a charity, but unfortunately government at this time doesn't provide funding to outpatient counseling services. So we do have a nominal fee. With that being said, though, we offer a sliding scale for our fee, right down to providing full financial assistance. We have approximately 15 people right now on our financial assistance program that do not pay a cent for our services and have been working with us for almost a year now.
And so how do you guys cover that if the government doesn't support? Is that through sponsorships, events, things like that? Like, how does that work? You guys can't sustain yourself and giving free services forever.
Well, we have a wonderful group of volunteers and board of directors that just work like crazy in volunteering at different events. We've also received some grants from Craig Leith Cares organization, as well as the Clearview Township, that have really helped to provide these services to local people that need help.
Also the Lions Club.
And the Lions Club of Stayner, yes, sorry.
And also Bingo.
And who?
Bingo.
Oh, yeah, and the fundraising events through different charities. We also are part of the OLG we receive a lot of funds from Bingo by volunteering there.
Yeah, lovely. And okay, so let's go back to the actual process that if I'm struggling, I'm actually going through. Is there a facility? Am I coming to you guys? Are you coming to my home? How does this work?
That is completely up to the client again. So we do have an office space available in the Collingwood area that we can meet there. But if the client would prefer to meet in the privacy of their own home, then our intake workers would go there. Our sessions can be done there. We do have clients that like to sit on the beach, so that's where we go for our sessions, or we'll do hikes through the trail. We've taken during a session, we've taken a client to a concert to participate in an event sober, which was quite the experience for her. So
I love that you do that. When I knew nothing about helping people get sober, I was just threw myself into it. I wanted to learn how. And fitness and mental health in some way have been integral to my life being fulfilling. Like, just for me, learn things from just solving my own problems. And so I was a personal trainer for a very long time, been in the fitness world for a very long time. And it just was natural for me to, let's say you guys came there and you're like, need help. It's like, okay, let's just go for a walk. It's beautiful outside. We know the benefits of being outside. Like, those aren't anecdotal. That's biological. To get that sun on you, to feel nature, to walk through the forest, it almost impacts everybody. And then just the physical activity, just getting your heart rate up a little bit, maybe seeing a dog, these types of things, rather than in my counseling room, it was kind of institutionalized a little bit. We tried to make it comfortable, but it wasn't great. It wasn't home feeling. And so we brought them out onto the gym floor. We brought them into the forest. We walked with them. And that was just a natural thing. As I started to study more and have more mentors and go through more training, I learned that was just so much more effective. So to hear that you guys take your patients out on walks, and especially concerts, like, that's very cool. Because really it's like, hey, I want to go back to the parties. I want to enjoy parties again. How great would it be if someone could guide me to do that and not be tempted to drink? That's
just it, right? There's a stigma to getting addiction treatment. People think it's more so institutionalized when it doesn't really have to be.
Doesn't have to be. Yeah, I love that you guys do that. So is that all across Simcoe County?
Yeah,
Yeah, we reach as far as we can.
we have clients down in Etobicoke. We'll go where the clients are.
Like if they really need our help, we'll go to them.
You guys will drive to Etobicoke to go to somebody's house for an hour counseling session.
No, we have.
Well, and that's one of the one down in Etobicoke is one of the ones that is the longer time frame. So, yeah.
Okay. And then I'm assuming you'll meet people on video as well.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. I love it. And then I know the protocols and the programming is individualized, but is there medications involved in this, pain management? Like if somebody comes to you and they're struggling on opioids, is methadone talked about, is Suboxone talked about, these types of things? Or are we talking talk therapy? You guys use your words and activities like concerts, things like that, and teach them how to live a sober life? Or are we talking any type of problem reduction through medication, things like that?
Right. So we ourselves, Brad's Place, provides education and talk therapy.
Okay.
We do discuss the different programs, whether it be methadone, Suboxone, whatever. If that's something that the client requires or would deem necessary, we would assist them and refer them, find the proper places. We do work with clients that are working with the OATC currently to
And that is
receive the
what,
methadone.
for the audience, what is the OATC?
Yes, so the methadone program.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do have clients that are working with that program for their methadone and then coming to us for their counseling portion. So we do talk therapy, education. Yeah.
And are you two part of the counseling, or do you run the operations and set everything up?
I'm in the background. She's the general. She's the general in the field.
So I'm one of the volunteer counselors. We do have paid counselors as well, and then we have other volunteer counselors.
And do you guys do this full time?
All the time.
It's a second job.
And how long has it been going on for?
We've been running for about 3 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is the long-term plan. Continue
It is.
going.
Well, I mean, our long term is to provide that residential home-like setting for the youth and young adults of the area.
For people to actually stay there overnight, like a treatment
Yes.
facility. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
come there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days.
Oh, no, we're going long run. We want the whole therapeutic community, at least 6 months worth.
So they would come and stay with you for 6 months?
At
Yeah.
least in the therapeutic modality, it's at least a year is the typical therapeutic community program.
Okay. So sorry, I'm getting two things mixed up. They wouldn't stay there overnight for 6 months to a year. They would have you as a counselor for at least 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
They would stay in the house. Yeah, they would live there. They would reside there. Yes.
Eat, sleep, do the whole thing for 6 months. Holy moly. Wow. I've never heard of that before. That's amazing. Yeah, that can do some real work. What we found so many times is that in the snow globe, that is a treatment facility for 30, 60, or 90 days, the chances of them using are minimal, right? There's a lot of limitations. It's hard to use there. So of course they start sobering up. Maybe some connections are made. Maybe some health has started to be addressed. Talk therapy, of course, is there. In a lot of cases, religion is there. And so success in the building is pretty high, but success out of the building is quite low. They go back into the same environment they're in before they went in the facility. And then those same habits, friends, and people are there. And so we see success rate, like 10%. It's really, really low. So I like the idea because I really believe in conditioning the mind, conditioning the body, conditioning the heart. It takes a long time. For me to get to a place where the gym is something I no longer think about, maybe took 2 years of going regularly and not wanting to go and continuing to go and not wanting to go and continuing to go until eventually it becomes like brushing your teeth. You don't think about brushing your teeth in the morning or in the evening. You just do it because you've done it 1,000 times. that takes time. I don't think 90 days is quite long enough to especially beat something like addiction. Learn how to live sober in 90 days when just living as a human is difficult enough, let alone struggling with a substance that you may have struggled with for a decade. In Brad's case, 10, 12 years, 90 days, I think, is a good starting point. But I don't think that's the answer completely in totality. So I've never heard anybody talk about 6 months to 12 months before where they live there. So that's 3 meals a day, programming, the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Wow. People come there suffering, come out superhero. That's the plan, eh? Mel?
Well, that's just it. Right? And we want to incorporate a lot of other things. Of course, like we're dreamers, like we want to include animal therapy, educational. We want to make sure that we help guide them so that when they do get out, they'll be able to work. So they'll have skills, like that's our plan.
Yeah. I hope you put a gym in there.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Okay, let's talk about you two for a moment here. So people get not just an understanding of what you do and a bit of an understanding of why you do it it was your brother-in-law, was it? Or is it younger brother?
Yeah, it's my brother-in-law.
My stepbrother.
Your stepbrother. Okay. Let's start with you, Paul. Give me 4 or 5 things that really light you up, that really put a smile on your face, where maybe Mel, if she was walking in the room and saw you smiling, she'd be like, I know he's watching this or doing this right now or eating this. Let's find out who you are, Paul. Things that light you up, man.
Things I love documentaries.
Hey, what? Give me some. Give me a couple. What do you like? Animal documentaries, war documentaries, space documentaries.
Conspiracy and history.
Yes, history. Conspiracy is interesting too. No question.
Because you know what? I kind of like the idea of listening to things, but you ultimately have to make up your own mind, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it gets your brain flowing.
Yeah. I remember I got sucked into the 9/11 conspiracy way back when. That just turned me inside out, and I'm like, I can't, no more. Even if it is true, I just can't go down that world. So history I'm into big time though.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see, what else do I like? I like building things. I like fixing things. I'm a very hands-on kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
If something needs repaired.
You actually like it, or do you just do it out of duty? You actually like putting things back together?
No, I actually love it. Like, ever since I was a kid, whatever was broken, I'd take it apart and put it back together, and it was fixed.
Yeah. You get some satisfaction out of taking something that's lost its use, and then by your hands bringing the usefulness back to it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm called a hoarder, but oh well.
Yeah, because unfortunately, all these broken things that he's taken apart aren't always put back together.
Yeah. And are they in your home right now, Mel?
Oh, yes.
I bet they are.
There isn't enough hours in 24.
No, there isn't. There isn't. What else, man? Anything else?
Oh,
You mountain guy, water guy, beach guy?
I'm a chill kind of guy.
Okay.
I've worked so hard all my life physically, so I'm at that point where I like to relax.
Yeah. Where's that though? Is that at the home? Is that at the cottage?
I
Is that on the
love
beach?
spending time with my family. If they're all together at one time, I love that. And, traveling down to go see other family, I really enjoy that. The camaraderie of family.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. Yeah. Family's important. And how big is this family? What do you got?
On both sides, it's absolutely huge.
So immediate family. Got kid?
Family. Well, I'd say about 6 nephews and nieces. I've got 2 siblings left alive. My mom's still alive, but that's my immediate family. And then her side, it's absolutely huge.
And then let's dive into you a little bit, Mel. Some things that light you up.
I love watching my kids play their sports or do their activities. My boys even as adults, are still playing rugby here in Collingwood. And if they're playing, you'll find me walking the field with the game.
Well, yeah.
Quite involved, are you? Are you one of those moms that yells at the ref though and at the coaches?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't go there.
Don't go there. I have a similar mother, man. I know that.
It's actually killing me right now because one of my sons is down at provincials for lacrosse and I can't be there to watch. And he's actually playing right at this moment. So,
Well, thank you for sacrificing that time with your son to help educate us and get this out there and help people. Outside of harassing the coaches on your son's team, what else lights you up, Mel?
I love to cook. I love to experiment with the cooking. I'll take a recipe. Very rarely do I follow a recipe right to the T. I, get in there and experiment and create my own thing. And my family gets to be the guinea pigs and test it out.
So I asked this question quite a bit because I got a couple of cooks in my sphere of people. And I just like finding out what makes people tick. So like with Paul, like just tinkering with things and putting things back together. I imagine the putting of things back together actually interests and satisfies you. Whereas with the cooks in my sphere, some of them don't love the cooking part. They love the results of the cooking. They give it to their people. People put a smile on their face. Wow, Dad, that was great. Or wow, one of my other buddies, that steak was incredible. That gives them a great deal of satisfaction. What is it for you? Do you actually like putting the recipe together, certain ingredients? And
I love the whole thing. I love finding a recipe right from the beginning, working with it, tinkering with it to make it my own. And then, like you said, serving it to others and watching how they enjoy it and what they think of it. So
I love it when she does Portuguese food.
I was just about to say, I'm going to put you on the spot, Paul. What's your favorite meal from Mel?
It's called, in the Surian, it's called alcatra. And it's the Portuguese roast beef done in a clay pot. Oh, with potatoes and veggies. Oh my God.
And she just kills it, eh?
Oh yeah.
You can tell by the face. That's a genuine face of a man that likes your food, Mel. Okay, so we like to ask this question a fair bit because although I think you guys have already touched on it, I'd like to dig a little deeper. It's about hardships, trials, tribulations. Ultimately, this podcast was created to connect human beings together, but through business, right? It's every person, every guest that's been on here is a business owner in some way, whether charity or private or for profit. They're trying to materialize their dreams in some way through their craft, whatever that may be, electrician, marketer, addiction services. And we're trying to get it out there to help educate people to find out another option for another problem to be solved. Maybe they don't even know this thing exists, or maybe it's the option of a thing that they already know exists, like an electrician, but they haven't had good services. Now they have another option. Being an entrepreneur is a very difficult path. Being a human isn't easy. We all go through hardships. And if you spend most of your time on social media, like a huge portion of our population in this day and age, anywhere from 10 years old to 75. I mean, my parents are in their 70s and they certainly spent a lot of time on it. I think it can start to skew your perception of reality quite a bit because social media is designed to keep you on there. And so I think it gives a tainted view of what reality really is. It often shows the big, huge boats, the perfect husbands, the perfect wives. Money in the millions is often talk about financial freedom. It's not a bad thing to talk about it, but I don't hear as much as I'd like to more now. And we want to be a part of this. That's why we ask this question more now than ever, but still just a small portion of it. People talking about like, what is it like to struggle with anxiety? What are the down days like as an entrepreneur? I've had hundreds of them. And I imagine you guys have had too. So when we share both the beauty and the ugly of being a human, I think that's what reality looks like. And I think that's setting proper expectations for the person listening. Maybe I want to get into this. If all we tell them is you get financial freedom as an entrepreneur, you get to create your own schedule, you get to hire and fire, you're the boss, it's your rules. Some of those things may be true, but you're leaving out so many layers. I work way more as an owner than I did as an employee. So when I thought I'll be able to go on vacation whenever I want, yeah, that's true. But my hours have doubled since I was an employee. So we like to ask the guests on the show because we want to be a part of the messaging that's going out there that's trying to show life as it really is, good and bad. Let's just talk about it as it is. Let's not put it through rose-colored glasses. Let's just tell it how it is. So we like to ask the guests on the show, any trials, tribulations, hardships that you've been through. I imagine there's been many that you're comfortable enough talking about. But here's the kicker to this question. It's not, let's just talk about what's hard, but let's talk about the results of you going through that. So the example I like to give is you went through it. It probably sucked, whether you chose to go through it or not. COVID wasn't a choice. Some things I choose to go through. Working out is very hard and it makes me a better person. That's a choice. COVID, not a choice. But when I look back at these experiences in hindsight, I wouldn't remove that ingredient from the recipe that has become me, because it's been integral to me becoming me, essentially. Anything that come to mind?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Well, for me, it's more so, especially like you said with COVID-19, and let's not beat around the bush. There's been a lot of fly-by-night charities, let's just say, which has brought a lot of distrust on people. So we've been finding, it's still lingering, that there's that donation fatigue.
Donation fatigue, yes. Yeah.
And also, there's also a stigma to what our legitimacy really is, right? Like, oh, they're another charity. Oh, they're probably like pocketing them up. Like Mel and I, we haven't paid ourselves a red cent since we started. We don't get paid. Everything we do is volunteer. I've even dipped into our own finances to help people. Like the legitimacy of our charity is like there. We are there to help and we want to help. And when we ask for donations, it's not going to be in our pocket so that next year I'm driving a Ferrari. You know, it's not going to happen. Any money that we get goes directly into programming and to our clients, period. And that's what really challenging, because, you know, you ask people to donate and they're like, yeah. I'm sure you're going to be getting someone. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't get a red cent. You know, it all goes into the charity. How about you? You got?
Well, I mean, just to add on to that, like Paul said, the financial part, we're both members of the board of directors, and it being a charity, we are not able to make any money. So for all the counseling sessions I do, it's all volunteer. Everything we do for Brad's Place is volunteer. So the finances from day one have been difficult, because before we had the legitimate government funding, which is another whole, not government funding, but government approval, which is a whole other ball of red tape. So for, 10 years, the applications with the government and the denial of charity status and the denial of business license and everything else, until finally getting it all in 2020 and getting incorporated and getting charity status. But all those finances, going back to school to get my addiction counseling certification, that was all our finances put through at the beginning. So, and then to not be, financially free, like you said, as an entrepreneur, and like, we don't get that benefit, right? It's a charity. So don't get me wrong, we love what we do. And eventually at one point, we will be pulling ourselves back from the board and be working and getting financially funded in that way. But right now, finances are hard. So, being on the board, being a volunteer counselor, training staff, and having to work a full-time job and be a parent and a wife and everything else, it's not easy.
I think that's a testament to your commitment right there. I think most people become entrepreneurs for one of two reasons. They either think it's easier to make money, or they are really passionate about the thing that they have grown a craft for. Like, the person that just loves painting guitars, I don't think they did it to get rich. That's not a industry that you're going to get rich from. They just love guitars and they love painting guitars. Or somebody who just loves running dogs. I just had a meeting right before this podcast with somebody who's trying to build a business, and it's not insanely profitable, as you can imagine. You can only run so many dogs so often, but she loves doing that. So those are the two categories. From the thousands and thousands of business owners that we've spoken to, it seems to be, money is the goal, or the craft. I just want to do my craft at scale and make enough to live. You guys aren't even getting the money at all. So I think that's a testament to your commitment of doing this. But I really want to ask you, and if you could go as deep as you're willing to go, like, what do you get from doing this? Husband, wife, second job, not getting paid anything. I imagine the stress is significant. I'm not married. I don't have kids. My work is all consuming, 70, 80 hours a week. It stresses me out big time. And I don't have those other things. Cornerstone Recovery, I just finished up. I just retired there 2 weeks ago to get my weekends back. This was 4 years of 7 days a week. And that was like the sword that I was falling onto. I'm like, I never get a day off, 7 days a week for 4 years straight. Like, woe is me. And then I hear, like, you got kids, you got 2 jobs. I imagine you don't know the meaning of weekends anymore at this point, probably. But what do you get out of it? Why do that? I'm really hoping that whatever your answer is, people really hear the difference between really designing your own life the way you want it compared to working for somebody else, even though that's fine. But you guys chose all of this. You didn't have to do that. Why do it?
Well, for me, I'll tell you, when a client comes up to me and gives me a hug or shakes my hand and says, "Thank you. You actually saved my life." That's all I need. I'll do it 5 times over. I saved your life. I'm going to do it over and over again.
How about you, Mel?
Yeah, it's those moments. It's such a hard moment to describe, but there's a moment that when you're talking with somebody and you can just see in their eyes that, aha, I get it moment. And that just lights my fire and gets me going. And like Paul said, knowing that I was able to help this person and their mother or their father, their husband, wife, whatever, doesn't have to bury them. That keeps me going. And knowing that, God forbid, if my children or my children's children or friends of my children are dealing with issues, there is a place local they can go, and they don't have to quit school, quit work in order to go and stay somewhere for 90 days, like you said, and get 60,000 in debt just to come back and screw up again. Sorry, but we're here, we're local, and we work with you for as long as you need us. Like I said, we've been working with clients for as long as a year already, just because they still need us.
It's a beautiful thing. You're certainly making the world a better place. That portrait right there is from Ralph Waldo Emerson, long past, but quite a thinker. And he talks about what what a fulfilling life is like. And the last sentence right at the bottom there is, he says, if you can impact a life in any way, something, not verbatim, but, by making a healthy garden patch, by raising a good human being, impacting a life in even the smallest way, you've made the world a better place. So you guys are certainly doing that. And I felt a similar feeling. There's nothing quite like transforming a life, even if you were just a small ingredient of it. I know none of us on this call are taking credit for transforming a life entirely because of us. They got to do the work. But maybe if you weren't in their life, they wouldn't have had the catalyst to do it. Or they wouldn't have the confidence knowing that you're guiding them to do it. Transforming a life, there doesn't seem to be anything that would replace it. It's quite a feeling.
Yeah.
Let's wrap things up. Sorry, go ahead.
It's kind of like my kids, when you see them doing something and you get proud, like it's that feeling inside that it glows, like that. Yeah, I can't describe that feeling, but it just feels so good.
And you know how many people out there thinking that this is the worst time to be alive and the world's a negative place? It's like, I get if you watch that stuff all day, every day, you can feel that way, but you guys wouldn't be doing what you're doing. I think people just need to open up their perspective a little bit, let a little bit more of that positive back in, and stop looking at the darkness so much, and they can see how beautiful our existence really is. Last couple of questions for you guys. First off, let's tackle this. What's the best way to get a hold of you guys? I know you said the number at the beginning, but I want it at the end. Sometimes people skip right to the end to get the contact details. What's the best way? Is it social media, website, phone number, email?
Phone is probably the best. It's 24 hours answering service. So 705-712-3699. Other ways are on Facebook, bradsplacetreatment, also Instagram, and then our website, bradsplace.org.
Last question for you. These are all my rules for life. So this is essentially my 15 rules to be the person that I'm trying to be, which was a combination of all of those behind me and beside me and all of the wonderful people I've had in my life, combined with my own experience. Like the recipe that has become me is a melting pot of that, my experiences, mentors, my parents. And then when I am 38 now, when I was 35, I'm like, I really want to do life in a certain way. I've been living this lifestyle since probably 28, 29. I have Post-it notes all over the place. They're all over my website, my desktop screen here right now. I have reminders on my phone and they're in the car, but it wasn't quite enough. I wanted them to be right there staring at me, especially when I wasn't acting in line with who I wanted to be when I veered off course. So there they are. And a lot of them are about the impact that I'm making, negative or positive. Mentorship has been one of the most impactful things in my life. There are so many people that have the answers to get to where I want to get to because they've already been there. And I just have to have the courage to go and speak to them about it, sought them out. Again, maybe in a book, maybe they've been dead for 2,000 years. Some of those books are from 2,000 years ago. But anyways, I was very lucky in my early 20s, a mentor, she injected herself into my life, just happened that way. And she asked me to consider my impact. She said, have you ever? I'm like, no, it's like girls, cars, parties, hockey. Put me in the gym, put good looking women in front of me, and I'm satisfied. I thought, very superficial dude life is what I was living. And then she said, well, you're born one day. You were born, you will die. What does the middle equate to? And is it important to you? And it just stuck. It really stuck. And ever since then, I've been considering my ripple effect of me being here. A lot of people think about legacy, which is posthumously, you die, your legacy comes afterwards. So you're not there to witness it. We're here to witness our impact on the world today. Is it good, bad, or indifferent? So it is one of the questions that I find myself most privileged to ask because of platforms like this, being a counselor, Cornerstone, and then just the business that we have. Deep conversations are just the nature of it, to really reveal the human and their passion behind what they do. And I'd love to ask you two what you would like your impact to be?
For me, my impact would be to abolish all stigma about addiction. Hopefully nobody's afraid to talk about it anymore. And of course, a big dream is to abolish addiction, find some way to get rid of it.
That's a hell of an impact, Paul. Yeah. Mel?
My impact, I would want for kids to know that there's a better way to deal with shit. Oops, sorry.
Swear away. Swear away.
That's the counselor coming out. That's the counselor coming out.
Real people swear, you know?
Yeah, and that's just for the kids to know that there's a better way to deal with stuff and a better way to deal with the world, and they don't have to hurt themselves.
Great way to end before I start tearing up, which is probably going to be the third time almost there on this call. I love what you guys do. I'm passionate about this industry in a big way. I've had it in my own life. I've had many people pass from it. And then my way of giving back in some small way was to figure out how to help people get sober over at Cornerstone. Not quite like you guys are doing, but the same mission. I wanted the same outcome. Addiction, it's a bitch. And I think we'd be better off without it. So check these guys out. Brad's Place Addiction Treatment of Southern Georgian Bay. Paul, Mel, you guys were great. Thanks for leaving it all out here for us. I hope whoever's watching this understands that there is a better way, and it's often just a phone call, DM, text away. Just, pick up the phone, make it happen. Thank you for coming on the show today, guys.
Thanks you for having us. We really appreciate it, Chad.
Absolutely. Until next time, you guys have a wonderful afternoon.
You too.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwithjeffandsean.com. That's gnpwithjeffandsean.com or call 705-413-3775.